Welcome to the January 15th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the second meeting of the new year. Any announcements? Anybody on the board? Good to have our town administrator and assistant to administrator back from extended bout with the flu and pneumonia and
wasn't they just going to set us someplace else in the
we would like someone to sterilize the area, but cough straight out there.
Yeah, well, I'll cough in John's sleep.
Anyway, welcome back. We do have one appointment tonight, which is kind of a spillover from last week. We had a couple of public hearings, joint public hearings last week with the planning board on the changes to the growth ordinance, and unfortunately they could not pull together a quorum to vote on that last week, so they're back this week. So I guess the floor is yours.
Andy Cody from the Planning Board. This is a continuation from our January 3rd meeting. Last week was a public hearing, as Dennis was saying, and I'd like to make a motion. After that hearing, there was no public comment of any concerns or problems that we're aware of. We worked pretty hard on it, so I'd like to make a motion to my fellow board members to approve the new growth ordinance as drafted and submit it to the Selectmen for their review and approval as well. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Frank.
Vote.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Unanimous. So I would.
Before we go, can we make a motion to adjourn our meeting to go on for 2 weeks?
Well, it really wasn't a meeting, Frank. It was a public hearing, right?
No, we actually had.
Okay.
One.
So you had, that's right, from the.
We carried it over, so we'll know.
You made that motion?
Yeah.
I second it.
Okay, we did.
So that information's got to get to Tina, right? Okay. So I would entertain a motion from the board to add this to the agenda immediately and for a vote. It's been moved and seconded to add to the agenda. All those in favor? And I now would entertain a motion on the growth ordinance changes.
I'd make a motion to approve the growth ordinance as recommended by the planning board.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
And I just want to say to the planning board, thank you. I know you've worked very hard on that. There was a lot of thought put into it. I like that we had some back and forth on it. Job well done.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
we
guys.
appreciate the support that you've given us.
All right. Anything else, guys? Thank you.
Just one thing, I see that we're on for a report tonight, and we gave a report last week, and not much has changed since then.
Okay. We'll give you a pass. All right. Moving along.
Thank you.
Hearing a delegation. Hearing a delegation. Come right in.
Hi, how are you?
We can take you anytime during reports of staff. You know that, don't you, right?
Okay.
You don't have to come in and hear a delegation, but you're more than welcome.
Well, it's not really a report. I just want to say thank you to everybody for helping out through the holidays. Let you know kind of what we did and where we stand.
Okay.
For Thanksgiving, we had 8 families ask for help this year, and the local churches and businesses took care of all 8 families. They always come through every year. And for Christmas, we had 59 families and 161 kids. More kids than last year, but a couple less families. 24 applied to me directly. 35 families wrote a letter to Santa's helper. And I just want to thank the Santa's Helper program for all that they do, because without them, we wouldn't be able to provide as much as we provide for the kids that in each year just gets bigger. I'd also want to thank everyone involved, from Giles Family Farm for donating apples, to the residents of our town donating time, money, local businesses adopting families. Together, the families all received a really good meal, a lot of toys, a lot of bicycles this year. It was kind of cool to see the bikes lined up everywhere out there. The generosity was just amazing. And I want to say thank you, because we have a great bunch of people who do a lot of shopping, a lot of wrapping, and I can't thank them enough for all their help. It's really greatly appreciated, because it's a big job, and they do a wonderful job at it. And also for fuel assistance, we've had a really big need for oil this year, and I want to thank all the local businesses in town, Lakeside Market, JD's, Gorham Savings Bank, Kasperzak Insurance, Waterboro Village Pediatrics, Benefit Savings Bank. WAB as a group also made a donation from the senior luncheons. And just the people in town that donate their bottles and cans to the fuel fund at JD's or at the transfer station. Just want to let everybody know that it's really appreciated, especially from the people who receive the oil. It helps them stay warm for a few extra weeks. So I just want to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Nancy.
If you could just stand by just for a moment.
Nancy, run off.
You know, in your list of people that you thank for, helping out, I noticed that you very tactfully omitted yourself from that list. And I think that you deserve a big hand for the coordination that took place that you orchestrated here at Town Hall, and making sure that everything went smoothly, that the packages got to the people that they needed to get to, because anyone that comes into Town Hall during that particular period of time can see, the packages that are all over the place here, and it's sort of like a wrapping chaos, and you really, you took care of that and made sure that everything worked smoothly, and I think you deserve a good hand for that.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Very different.
All right, moving along, correspondence. There's a whole list here that are listed on the agenda. The weekly treasurer's report, the 2020 agenda for the 14th, road review committee agenda for the 13th, the ECOMaine December recycling report, York County manager, note on the payment for 6 months assessments, Ewaste 2012 municipal universal waste annual report. There's a confidential letter from the assessing agent to the board concerning an abatement, newsletter from Senator Susan Collins, newsletter from State Rep Aaron Libby, the MMA Legislative Bulletin, and the January through December recycling figures from Grimmel Industries. So any one of those except for the confidential correspondence, you're more than welcome to request a copy from Christina.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to motion that we take our agenda a little bit out of order. I understand that we have a family here that's waiting on the corrective lien release deed, and whereas they've got the little one, maybe they'd appreciate us taking that out of order so that they wouldn't have to sit through a lot of reports.
Okay, is that a motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to move forward. Item 4 out of new business. 2 in front of reports and staff initiatives. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, so how about we bring that up? This is a request for a corrective municipal lien release. And I would presume we have had our legal legals look at it.
And it was just an error of it not making it to the proper. I would make a motion that we approve the corrective deed.
I'll second that.
Any,
I'm
further-
sorry, I didn't hear the motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve the corrective deed. It was just an omission where it didn't make it to the registry as it needed to.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Do we have that readily available?
Right in the yellow folder, should be the top of the pile.
All right, it'll make its way down the table here as we continue on. How's that? So that we can.
Thank you very much.
Who said the wheels of government turn slowly?
I don't know.
Well, when you bring that kind of a cute face with you, how can you say no?
It's a good sport.
Yep. Yeah, we'll pass it now. All right,
You gotta squish.
moving along. Reports and staff initiative, CEO. Step right up.
Good evening.
Been a while.
How are you?
Good.
I'm Mark Mitchell. I'm the code officer here in Waterboro. I've been for about 8 months now, 8 or 9 months. This past quarter, since I saw you last, building has, actually last summer, got quite busy and it has dropped off a lot for the holiday and winter months. We've dropped off to 3 new home starts this past quarter versus about a dozen we had over the summer. But, a lot of septic systems were installed, a lot of failing systems have been replaced, and that was a very busy fall. Some seasonal homes were raised and got foundations put in place under them after they went to the planning board to meet the requirements that seasonal structures that get foundations put under them need to be reviewed by the planning board to see that they get put back away from the water as far as practical. It doesn't mean 100 feet, but a lot of that was done. No heating permits were issued because we don't issue them. We don't inspect or regulate heating systems that are installed. No electrical permits were issued because we don't inspect nor regulate electrical inspections or installations in town. Commercial buildings get state inspections and state permits, but it's nothing that the town has ever done here in-house. After advertising for free energy surveys on the website for a number of months and a couple of articles in newspapers, I did 2 or 3, but there wasn't a lot of interest there. I'm not sure that a lot of people around town want to have the code enforcement officer in their house. Would be my guess. But you never know. If anybody wants to ever get a free energy survey, just call the office and I'd be glad to come over, whether it's on the website or not. I'd be glad to do it and see if I could help you save a couple gallons of oil and a couple of bucks on your electric bill and your heating system. I did read a very interesting and very good, well-done energy audit that was done on the town's buildings, and there were a number of changes and recommended fixes, if you will, for some town buildings. I'm not sure if any of them have been done yet. I was hoping that we could maybe do a little bit each year. I know it'd be quite a load to take on all at one time, but I think there are some pretty good ideas in those energy audits that the town ought to be looking at. That'd be my recommendation anyway. Naturally, it's I think you want to take the low-hanging fruit first, and anything that you can do to reduce the town's electric bills and heating bills and have a very short payback time would be a wise investment. Because once those things are paid off, they continue to pay off every year, forever. There's going to be a couple of letters going out to, I'll say, some individuals that have had, for instance, there's top of my head, I'm thinking of a car sales place in town that was approved by the planning board to have 6 cars for sale. And over the years, it seems that they've got about 50 or 60 scattered about the property, and there's a dilapidated building out back. Those sort of things I kind of avoided the first few months I was here. I didn't want to try to come in here and look like the new sheriff in town, but I think there's a few properties around town that could use some enforcement, urging. Hopefully we can urge them into compliance without, the last thing we want to do is to go to court, but I'll start working with them more vigorously than I have. But I have warned them in the past. few months that they really need to do something about the conditions. And, so that will be kind of a shot across the bow, just to warn them that it's time to
Do you
clean things
need
up.
flags or anything for that?
Pardon me?
Do you need flags or anything for that?
Flags?
Never mind.
Well, I'm hard of hearing, so
I know where you're going.
Inside joke.
okay. I'll talk to you about that one later. Then.
Car sales make big balloons, I don't know.
I think so.
Oh, I think I'm getting them now. I'm slow sometimes. The town planner and I have been talking quite a bit about the zoning ordinance that was put together and approved in 1977. That's a pretty old ordinance, but it's been amended and it's had a few band-aids and a few amendments to it. We feel it would be time well spent if we started to work on a new ordinance with the recommendations from the 2020 committee and the comprehensive plan committees and every time I get a zoning question from someone, it's kind of a handful and a crapshoot to figure out what the authors of the ordinance meant and how it's versus how it's been handled over the years, and it's quite vague, quite unclear in a lot of areas, and so we'd kind of like to work on it, and I think we will be. He's shaking his head, yes, in agreement. Soon, in our spare time, now that the building isn't going crazy anyway. In the not too distant future, I would like to actually give you folks a sort of a survey of not necessarily goal setting, but maybe prioritize what you'd like to see the code office do for the town. What sort of things you see around town that you think might need a little more attention. Sometimes I see things that I would recommend that they get work done or cleaned up, but the town has never really regulated them, and you don't have any property maintenance codes. Probably the town doesn't want a property maintenance code, but I just would like to know what you folks would like to see the code office do. And,
I think that's something you could bring us some suggestions to us.
yeah, I would give you a list of maybe what we could do, and you could prioritize it one through, maybe give you 10 things and prioritize the number 1 important things, and number 10 obviously would never do. But tenant landlord stuff, we just don't get involved in, and we probably don't want to get involved. There aren't that many tenant landlord structures in buildings in this town anyway. I got my new certifications today from the state. I was recertified in shoreline zoning, land use, residential building code, commercial building code, residential energy code, commercial energy code, indoor residential ventilation code, indoor commercial ventilation code, radon control, internal plumbing and external plumbing today for 6 more years. Each of those I mentioned needs about 30 hours of classroom training, and so I figure I'll be retired by 2019, so I won't go to many classes anymore, but it's crazy how many hats we have to wear and train for in the code enforcement field. It's kind of like being a handyman where you can do a little bit of everything, but you can't do anything really, really well. So, any questions, comments, or?
One question on the electrical, is that pretty well standard across the board for communities in Maine, that they don't have some type of electrical?
A lot don't. If you build a new home, how it works is you need to have the electrician turn in or sign an affidavit saying that he did it to code. Every time a new electrical code is adopted, there's about 400 changes to it, and there really aren't that many electrical.
So what electrical code are they using? Is it something promulgated by the town, or
We're
is
using
it
the state,
by the state?
the electrical code,
Oh,
the National Electrical Code, which is It's one of the National Fire Protection Association codes. But to be honest with you, there aren't that many code enforcement officers that are well trained enough to be doing electrical inspections. And I did electrical inspections for many years on new services and upgrades from 100 amp to 200 amp, residential stuff for 1 and 2 family homes, but if it was ever a multi-family or a commercial building, you use the state. But no, we don't.
Okay.
It's a
I just want to know if we were consistent with other communities that, or that we needed to maybe take a look at that to,
for instance, Saco, just because I used to work there, I know that one area well. They have a master electrician who does the electrical inspections. And, they always have. They had someone from CMP retiree before that. But there's never been a code enforcement officer in the town of Saco that did electrical inspections.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Jerry?
Members of the board, Jerry Daigle, assessing agent for the town. Assessment report for you tonight, which you should have a copy of, brings us up to date from September, which was not that long ago, but in any case, we went through the fiscal year 2013 abatement process, which is something that we go through every year. The board granted 27 abatements and an abatement total of approximately $11,259. They were broken down as follows: 7 personal property abatements, 20 real estate abatements, and most of the reasons for the personal property were based on no longer in business, moved out, that kind of thing. Most of the reasons that we had in the real estate abatements were unfinished houses, the division of lots, and the merging of lots. It seems to be a problem sometimes. The board denied 3 applications for abatement since October 1st, 2012. We also had to file the 2012 municipal return with the state. They require that of every town. It's based on their format. They just want to know what the property tax totals are, how much we're going to raise, and what our ratio is. And they still have the late penalty for those that don't file after November 1st. And we were on time, plenty of time this year. The budget, the assessing department did file a budget for fiscal 2014, and I believe you will have that in the budget documents that you have. That's pretty much it right there, unless you have questions.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll be acting on, seems how you're standing there.
Yep.
On an abatement request tonight.
Abatement request would be number 1325 for the McBride property on Main Street. This is a property that's located in the GP zone, was turned into a real estate office and was used as such, and then closed in January 2012. The property was listed for sale at $194,900. Went under contract for $169,900, and in November 2012 it was appraised for $130,000. The average assessed value of the comparables that were used in that appraisal was $149,100. There was a mobile home in there, but we didn't use that sale. And during the reval of fiscal 08, the subject property was valued as a commercial, which is, of course, would include more value on the land because of its use, and a little more value on the building because of what it was intended to be built for. The applicants are requesting a value reduction to 189,007. I'm sorry, that is the assessed value now, 189,007. She'd like it to be reduced to half. Proposing to the board that it be adjusted to 141,800 based on the values that we heard discussed. And this would be an abatement on the tax of $613.12.
Okay. Any other questions of Jerry? Will
And your recommendation on this is, as indicated in this report that we have before us?
Correct, the 141.8. Regardless of all the values that I listed as I went through this paragraph.
141.8.
141.8, yes.
Okay.
So the property was a commercial property.
Was used
It's in a
as.
commercial zone. Was that originally built as a home or as a business?
I think it was built as a home, a small one.
So it's been sold as a residence,
Correct.
and we know that it's gonna be a residence and not another business?
It was proposed in the real estate market as a residence, and the people who are buying it, according to the owner now, is saying that it's going to be used as a residence. And if that were to change, it'd have to come before the code officer for a permit and permission and such, and that could very well, again, change the value.
But presumably, if it changes back to commercial, then the valuation will change.
The use would follow the value, sure.
So we keep going to the revalue that
Correct.
we did.
Correct.
So the 141.8 would fit under,
The scenario of a
it.
residential use
Residential.
along with the neighbors around it.
Any other questions of Jerry? We'll let you go. You don't have to stick around for the vote.
You mean go from the meeting, right?
Yeah. Anything else, Jerry?
That's it.
All right, thank you, sir. Saco River Corridor, seeing anything here. Planning Board, we've given them a reprieve. He was here last week. Selectmen's report. Gordon? Anything?
I just want to thank John for attending the 12-town group last night. I owe John an apology. I was working late last night, and for some reason I had it in my head that it was 12-town meeting night, and John offered to come in and cover for me, and it's actually next Monday. So thank you for being here early, John, and I'll be here myself next
I was
week.
just kind of waiting for the sandwiches to show up.
Breaking into your house while you were out there.
Yeah, spend
Anything
the
else,
night.
Tammy?
That's it.
Public hearing is tomorrow night
Yes.
for the county budget.
I know that there is weather predicted. There is a snow date for the following week, so I'd say just kind of watch the news tomorrow night, see if it gets postponed. I know they tend to be a little bit quick in continuing those just because it's all of York County, so there's some folks that are traveling from, Parsonsfield, Cornish, Kittery. For them, it's a little bit more of a challenge to get in and for a meeting when it's bad weather, so.
How about down there in, John?
Just want to say that I attended one and a half of the community meetings on Saturday, the North Waterboro one and the Waterboro Center 2020 committee, and found a lot of members of the planning board was there, and they were small but very effective. Probably 15 people at each one of the meetings, but nice discussion. Kind of got into the Conway Schools report, but got into more specifics, what ifs, looking at particular properties and say, what kind of businesses might move in here that would, what would you, as members of North Waterboro, like to see here? It was, I thought it was very well done, and I think you probably got some pretty good information, huh, Tom?
We sure did.
David? Nothing? I did do the full board meeting at our regional, our ECOMaine the other day. Had the nice distinction of sitting and listening to Nick Masdell for 2 hours explaining rent control. But anyway, everything is going well at ECOMaine. When you look at the budget revenues, even though overall we're down about 2%, the expenses are down significantly as well. They just came out by email yesterday, I believe, that there's been a new electrical contract written, and it increases by about $0.01 a kilowatt hour, so there'll be a little additional revenue next year for power. Recycling is, the value of recycling is down significantly. The market, the market for cardboard and newspaper is, 18-20% down. So, which, I don't understand, because I keep getting, from a business perspective, keep getting updates of the corrugate guys are going up. So I don't know how the recycling market can be down and the corrugate going up, but I guess that's why they make boxes and I don't. So. Anyway, they're
You just pack them.
yeah.
Pack them and ship
And just a reminder, if anybody has anything that they would, I think this is the week that we have to have the Eco Excellence Awards in. So
Yeah, they sent it out today, I think it
yeah,
was.
Lynn, just a final reminder, I think, sent out today.
So that was,
We
Yeah,
received
we
it
have not put anything in for that.
oh, we
So,
haven't,
Yeah.
okay. Didn't we discuss putting forward the middle school
Yeah.
team?
Yeah, we're trying to pull that, if I can pull that together, we'll get that in. And that's all I have. Town administrator.
Your budget notebooks are here, to go along with the budget that was sent out on Friday. There is one little difference because I did go in and make an adjustment over the weekend. So this total budget is $183,086 over last year's budget, and that does not include CIPs. This year, you'll find in the notebooks a budget report that will have the 2011 actual budget and the 2012 budget and actual, and it will show the 2013 budget and what is proposed. And also the worksheet, I didn't staple it, I just put it in a folder so that you can pull it out and you can work from this too. So I had Christina, we thought about how we could do this so that you wouldn't have to pull your books all apart every time you wanted to look at something, so.
Good.
That's that. Representative Aaron Libby called and he wanted to give the board an update that he couldn't be here tonight because he still is in Augusta. And he has been assigned to the Energy, Utilities and Technology Committee, and he's very happy to be on that committee. And they are working on the supplemental budget first, which has $87 million shortfall in main care and $32 to $35 million shortfall in revenue forecast. They're looking to have the supplemental budget passed by February 12th. And the governor's budget, their biennial budget has been proposed. He says they're not even going to work on that until after they get the supplemental, but he said also wanted to relay to the board to not get nervous over the budget as it is in its baby step stage.
So is that his message, not to worry about the 100% cut to revenue sharing?
Yeah, he said he's keeping he's going to work very hard to keep the education and the revenue sharing.
It's gonna make it difficult in our budget deliberations when we consider excise tax and the loss of that revenue and the homestead exemption, and I'll say that there's another one.
Well, it's the revenue sharing.
Yeah, revenue sharing, exactly, yeah.
Revenue sharing this year was budgeted at $434,000. So $435,000, I guess, if you want to round up. And what he's saying is that will go to zero, right? Of course, they won't get on our business anymore either, but that's another story.
Be interesting to go to the York County Advocacy Group meeting. It's coming up in a couple of weeks on a Saturday. I'm sure that's going to be a hot topic.
Well, even though it's a little less than $500,000 for us, you get the big cities, it's 8, 9, 10 10 million bucks in revenue sharing. And all the revenue sharing is set aside out of the sales tax. So it's,
There was flat funding, I think, on the school too, so
Right.
we're gonna have to pick up.
so it's all about, moving the peas under the shells, right?
Yeah.
And we all know there's just one place that you can get that money, and that's from us, taxpayers. Whether it's local, state, so remains to be seen where that one goes.
Speaking of show games, you see that cat on TV that plays the show game?
Yes.
Maybe they could use them. Fix it out every time.
All right, anything else, Nancy?
No, that's it.
All right, new business, discuss vote on payment option for the 6-month transition budget for York County. I guess I'd ask, the first question I'd ask is, in this municipal budget, there's no provision, right? So the number that you just shot out,
Will change.
it being, let's just take the gross number, if it's 183 over current budget, right?
Mhm.
The real number is another 163,000 on top of that, right? If we decide to pay a one-time fee for, in December 31st of this year, right? Which is one of the options.
Now, we can, if we ought to, we could tell the county that we're gonna pay in the 5-year increment. But if we decide to pay early, then we can do that without penalty. So what I would suggest is if we say we're gonna take the 5-year option, so we've got that leeway for ourselves, because we have to let them know by February 15th. And then as we go through budget deliberations, if we decide we're gonna pay it all in one fell swoop this year, then we can do it, but we're not pigeonholing ourselves into a commitment for that one-time payment if we just find with the budget we're not gonna be able to make it work. Understanding that if we do extend the payments out over the 5 years, we're responsible for the interest on it.
Yeah, so you're basically, what you're saying is that we can tell them we're gonna do 5 years and back off the 1 year or 3 years or whatever, but if we tell them we're gonna do 1 year, you can't all of a sudden decide later on we wanna do 5 years.
Right, because
Yeah,
it
does that make sense?
dictates what they're gonna take out for TAMs.
And there's also, some municipalities are offering to pay it now.
Yep.
And, as long as there's no, do they get a reduction based on, that they don't have to borrow that much more money? Because the county's gonna go out and borrow the
Yeah.
money anyway. So if you'd paid it down now,
They borrow less.
do you have to pay less because there's no
I know that there was
TAN number in it?
there was some discussion at one point from the county manager where some municipalities were offering to kind of be the TAN agents for the county. So the county would borrow the monies from the municipalities, and in turn the municipalities would get some of the interest.
Nice.
That's nice.
Send the guys
I
with the
guess-
knuckles after them.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad I don't live in those
Where's the
municipalities,
muscle?
got all that extra money, right?
Yeah.
Gotta send the muscle out after them, maybe, too.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's the arrangement that they ended up making, but that was kind
So,
of one of those things that
really,
was thrown
really,
on the table.
I mean, without going into a lot of numbers crunching and everything else, I think that proposal is probably you tell them this is what we're gonna do, and if we decide to do something else, then ultimately we do it.
I think that gives us some latitude,
Yeah.
in our decision making anyway.
I mean,
So do we wanna put forth a
I
motion
will
that
move that we
notify them?
go with the 6-month plan over 5 years.
And do we have a second?
second.
And any discussion? And all we really gotta do is notify the county administrator. All those in favor? Opposed? Let her rip. All right, discuss the vote on the abatement. Jerry explained it pretty well. It is in the packet. And what is your pleasure on abatement request?
I'll move to approve the,
1325?
I'll move to approve the abatement 13-25 as recommended by the assessing agent.
Any second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Lastly, discuss the vote on the community development block grant certificates. Really discussed to sign them. We've already voted to support RSU 57 on their effort with water, right?
I just want to point out there are two documents, one for all of the board to
Yep.
sign and the other just for,
Did a very
The
nice
chair.
job putting my name on one of those tags and all on the other, so. Formal vote, I guess, so I entertain a motion.
Just so I'm clear on this, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
How does this differ from the vote that we took before when we went to support it?
Nothing other than it just approves us signing the documents. It probably is an unneeded vote.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait a minute, we get somebody over
the
there.
vote was to sign the letter of intent, but there's also a survey certification that has to be
Okay.
signed. So that was not voted. So
Alright,
that's
so
why
the-
you're voting
So there's a
again.
vote, there's a vote for the
Letter of
letter of
intent.
intent,
And
which
that
is
was done already.
right? So this is a vote on the CDBG certifications. Right,
Okay.
so we'd entertain a motion for that only.
I would move that we vote to approve the CDGB certification.
I'll
Say
second
that
that.
again?
Say that fast. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, we've already taken care of the lien release. Old business, nothing. Warrants and bills for payroll. So I'd entertain a motion for those.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? We have no minutes. We're gonna be busy now, Christina, you got, so we got PSAs, review driveway opening permit language, board and committee status. EDC forum will be here Thursday night, just as a reminder. We start that at 7? 6. And implication of town charter changes, week's action list, I'm not sure that there are any actions based on what we just did.
Send the letter to Kenny.
Right, the letter will have to go to the county administrator. So it would be in a kind of a response to his letter. Items needing signature, the CDBG and application certificates, warrants and bills of payroll, and the corrective lien release, which we will all be signed. On the posting, I believe there is an executive session scheduled, so let me go through the reminders.
Are we doing agenda items?
Okay, yep, agenda items.
We need to set up our schedule for budget meetings.
Okay, and we also like to schedule a workshop if everybody can make it for 5:30 next week, just to at least to kick off the this whole charter thing. There's 5 buckets there that I kind of gave everybody a chart on. Christina, I'll get you that, because I'd like to get a copy of that out to everybody that attended that meeting that we had that night as well. And if everybody's amenable to a 5:30 meeting, we'll pull together. It shouldn't take a lot, other than us just taking, one of us, I would think, would take the lead on each one of those categories. What else? So do we have anything on the agenda? Or keyed up? No public hearings, no?
There will be, Nancy Johnson has asked for a 15-minute executive session next week prior to the beginning of the meeting for poverty abatement.
Alright, so, is there any reason that anybody can't be here by 5:15?
5:15.
5:15, we'll do an exec session and then.
Sure.
It's on
Sometimes
the,
you're gonna change it.
it's on the 22nd,
It's on the 22nd.
5:15.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Dennis, just to clarify, you want the executive session at 5:15 and then a workshop at 5:30?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let me read the reminders and then we'll break for the executive session. Planning board is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. here at the Town Hall Annex. Thursday night the 17th, the EDC Development Forum here at 6 p.m. Thursday, 7 p.m., Ospey Meadows Garden Club.
Club?
What is that?
It's a new group, new organization.
I usually
Another
don't.
one?
It's a group that uses town space. I don't usually put it on your
I was
agenda.
gonna say, they've been around for.
Yeah, they,
Yes.
All right, Water Trustees, meeting on 6 p.m. 12-town group will be here 6:30 next Monday night. 2020 Master Planning Committee, 5 p.m. On Monday the 14th at the Central Station. And then we're back here next week with the Selectmen's meeting, Parks and Rec and Old Home Days Committee on meeting or reporting out. Let me just back up. Let's put, or maybe we don't need an agenda item, but I'd at least like to know if in fact we have any information from the Waterboro Board of Trustees with the fact that there's supposedly only 2 trustees living in town now. So I'd like to know if they have any plans to replace their 3rd trustee who is no longer a resident of the Water District. And that might be fictitious information, I'm not sure, but maybe we can. I don't have a problem if we'll write a note from me to the chair of the Water District. Anything else?
The Economic Development Forum.
Yeah.
Had a businessman in town who lives out of town,
Yeah.
is very interested in being a part of this, and possible committee if it's revised. Is that, will that be discussed
I would say.
Thursday night as far as opening this up for non-residents not to be on a?
But I think the problem is you can't because our charter is specific that committee members have to be residents.
In the charter? The charter, oh, that's.
Because we looked at that before.
I wonder if you can go around the charter as far as not voting, but have associate members, so that you have some business people in town that are very interested in business development here, but they may live in a different town, and maybe what you could have as an associate membership, non-voting.
Adjunct advisor or something.
Yeah, because part of they're going to be interested in the discussion and coming up with, so it's, anyway, that's something you might want to talk about.
We'll see what the discussion bears, and then we'll have to look at other different ways to accommodate some of that input, because you're right, there are business people that have businesses in town that aren't residents that would like to certainly see different things happen in the community, so. All right?
Dennis?
Yes?
I think you mentioned the planning board, that is canceled tomorrow.
Okay, so the planning board meeting for 7 p.m. is canceled. Okay? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
So anybody that's interested in coming tomorrow night to the planning board meeting,
Don't.
All right, that all being said, I would entertain a motion to move into an executive session commencing at, we'll say,
So moved.
7:55.
7:55? I'm not sticking around that one.
6:55.
Take
Take a 5-minute break. So moved by John, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, so we will convene at